Hi, I'm Kamala Devi, and this is day 3 at Zegg. And the beautiful thing is the sun is out. It's like this bright summer day after many days of rain. So people are by the pool, laying out nude and enjoying the sun while classes and dances and workshops are happening. There's also a campus with fountains and benches, and it's like love is in the air here. It's really special. And it's a unique day because we have what's called open space technology, and this is a time in which people who were inspired by Zegg get to present spontaneously whatever projects or causes that they have developed around alternative lifestyles. And so I chose to give a talk about free love and how we do that in San Diego. Adam did a talk about what he calls cooperative anarchy, or some of the environment of community in San Diego. And then Serena did ecosexuality, and there's just tons of other really juicy topics. What I found interesting for me is that I came here, to learn to be held and supported by what I thought would be it's a laboratory or an environment where new thought and new culture is coming out, and there is great sex positive permission here and great communication tools and techniques, but I'm not actually finding people who are furthering my conversation about free love and polyamory. So when you don't find something, you came to get something, then you give it. And so I gave this talk. And the reflection I got from people who have been here working on in the free love groups is that instead of more love, they're working through more pain, more jealousy, more contraction, and just how much pain it is in opening the relationship. And one of the the challenges is that people hear free love and they think it means freedom, total liberation, total disregard for like agreements or rules, and a lot of free lovers don't want to practice rules. They don't want to be bridled, and so I used my trusty metaphor of you're on the Autobahn and you're traveling at different speeds, and maybe in a partnership a man is traveling at 100 miles an hour, and a woman's like, hey, I'm going 60. And if they want to travel together, they have to find, a meeting place that's comfortable for them. And so, we talked about agreements and how to create that place that feels like it stretches one and it doesn't slow the other one down too much. And then the other thing that was interesting for me is how many yogis there are. Everybody's here practicing yoga and meditation, and when we learn the first rule, the first yama, the first restraint in yoga, Patanjali's teachings, is nonviolence, and people get it, like, oh, nonviolent communication, I wouldn't be violent to my partner. But there's a deep practice of violence towards oneself that's being overlooked. And in polyamory, if you're really going to practice more love, you have to be loving towards yourself. And what that means is you see your lover sharing love with someone else, not making that mean in your head that you're not enough, or you're not pretty, or that you're not lovable. All of those thought patterns and all of those stories are really a type of violence. And so the deep yoga is going inside and being compassionate and being kind to yourself and cultivating love and knowing that you're lovable and sexy and juicy regardless of that partner or anybody. And so that when you're fortified in here and you're kind to yourself, then people can do whatever they want. They're not going to take away or threaten um, your sense of worth in the world. So we did some deep yoga today, but it was really well received and really fun to share. And there's a part of me that's a little bit like disappointed that I'm not learning more from other people about how they do poly. It's a little bit like when I went to India and I was like in search of tantra and sacred sex and I wanted to learn about it, and I went all throughout South India and I came home feeling like, oh my gosh, California has better tantra than anything in India. And this is really my experience in Zegg. Is I'm loving the teachings about community and how to live and operate in a commune, but the actual polyamory here is something of the past. Maybe 10 or 20 years ago, there was more of a culture of free love and lovers that were running this. But now they're understaffed and overworked, and mostly in primary relationships or lots of singles, and there's a lot of there's not a real strong base of polyamory that lives here with the residents. There are some beautiful, like my teachers, Akim and Ina, and some of the core founders really are poly-liberated, in their love at heart. But it's really different than the, than the hotbed of love and possibility and sexuality that's being shared right now in San Diego. So I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling blessed. I love my life and community. And I look forward to sharing, the richness and the inspiration that I'm getting here with you on an ongoing basis. So, mwah. I'll talk to you tomorrow.